of the biggest problems that we have right now, well, aside from some of the obvious like war and etc., is that there is an extremely neglected art form that people don't usually think of, and that's video games. Uh, the, I, I play quite a lot, and I find it sort of annoying that so many people just trivialize them as just for little kids. I mean, since when is it that impressive visuals and amazing music, why is it that they're only considered art when they're separate? Why is it that movies can be given huge awards, but video games, oh no, they're just for kids? Now, I can understand exactly why, but the problem still stands that not enough people actually think of them as art. So I think the problem may be the fact that the word games is tagged on to the end. It's just something that you play around with. It's nothing to be taken seriously. Meanwhile, well, tons of work goes into any given game, and some of them are even done specifically for the art. There's an entire genre of art games. A lot of them are just there for a specific atmosphere. Some of them are just done because the developer wanted to have a certain look. And there's also people like Roger Ebert, a particularly well-known movie critic, who has said that he will refuse to consider video games art until someone can literally say, "I cried at the end of level 11." I think, personally, he's been 20 years late on that. In fact, there's an entire genre of video games in Japan dedicated to making people cry. I mean, to be fair, most of them involve young girls dying of, say, cancer in hospitals. There are exceptions. His stance on video games is also extremely outdated, partially because he has actually said that he has never actually played a video game and actually refuses to. And that also explains his stance on them as being something that you can win, that being a part of his argument. But video games cannot be art because they are something you can win. You can also finish watching a movie. You can get to the end of a song. According to that definition, the only art is, say, a painting, or a drawing, or a statue. Video games have been a lot more than that for a long time. I think the last time that they were specific only about winning was, say, the NES, or even Pong, if you want to go back that far. Now, to solve all this, I think it would be fairly difficult, though I think that we do need to have larger, more publicly endorsed, say, award ceremonies. I think more people actually looked into games. While there are quite a few large ceremonies, most people who actually pay attention to them are people who actually play the games themselves. Now, the thing is, though, if games are left as they are, then I think we'll probably end up getting steadily more and more first-person shooters. And while they can have their epic moments, shoot many terrorists is not exactly a great way for artistic expression. And besides, most of those games focus on seeing which ones can be the most realistic. Meanwhile, there are other games, such as one, Shadow of the Colossus, which I should add, when I actually Googled video games as art, it actually said, "Did you mean Shadow of the Colossus?" In which the story is extremely minimalistic. It's left for you to figure out, for the most part. And the entire time, you're pretty much alone with your horse. And the entire thing being, you have to find and kill 16 absolutely enormous creatures called colossus, plurals, which I will be showing what that actually looks like. And meanwhile, the atmosphere, you feel alone. The music is incredible. It's fully orchestrated and fits whatever is going on at the moment. And the lighting, fog, everything adds to the experience. But it's not art. Meanwhile, and there's another game, Okami, which is absolutely steeped in Japanese mythology to the point where everything actually looks like it was painted like with an ink and brush. That actually is another mechanic in game, but in fact, the original version of the game it actually had a filter over the entire thing that made it look like it was actually even drawn on rice paper. Again, not art. But as for what individuals can do, and what I do, support independently developed games, indie games, made by smaller studios, again, the people who usually have an artistic vision, style, or whatever that they want to get across, and buy soundtracks for games that you like. And this is actually all helped quite a bit by the fact that apparently video games are legally considered art by the NEA, the National Endowment for the Arts, which means that you can submit a form to them, and assuming that you pass, they will actually give you $200,000 for development of the game, specifically if it's going to be released as free. They also support people who are going to be making, say, statues for public places. Probably shouldn't turn this on, but so if that doesn't say that it's art, I don't know exactly what is going to say it. But not enough people seem to really think of them as art and just think of them as passive entertainment. This is from Shadow of the Colossus, and these are two of the colossi that you have to fight. And yes, that is the main character. So, you have to literally climb around on this thing in order to find some way to actually kill it. Meanwhile, fully orchestrated music, which I would definitely like to play, but with PowerPoint it gets a bit awkward. I do have it on my iPod, but that might not work at the moment. Also, there's this guy. There, stumbled a bit. And the other game that I mentioned, Okami. Just about every character and object, maybe not object, but everything in this game has some relation to Japanese mythology. And since most people don't live in Japan, let's be honest here, a lot of people aren't going to get it without actually looking things up. Some more pictures. And everything actually it shifts as you're running, and your characters, in fact, the god of Amaterasu, and like even as you run, you never forget that she's a god, because like flowers and plants spread up everywhere she walks. And one other game that I thought would definitely show what I'm talking about, Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's adorable, and the entire game is made out of yarn and fabrics and other things like that. One particular enemy is made out of cardboard, and you can see how what everything is made out of, and it actually uses what everything is made out of to an amazing extent throughout the entire game. So I don't really expect everyone to really just go out and start playing these games for the sheer art of it, but I would at least like people to say, look at these things, look at them as something other than just simple